has expired.
The Pentagon, the State Department,
gentlewoman is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Missouri reserves the ballot.
Mr. Speaker, how much time do you need?
There's nowhere, anywhere that says that 87,000 new IRS agents are going to be hired in this bill. Cut out the scare tactics, quit making things up, and debate the substance of this bill.
For the people over politics, let's pass this bill.
Gentlewoman's time is expired.
Yes, I'm disappointed. I'm going to vote for this bill because so many people are going to benefit in different ways, but I'm disappointed.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and what is going on in the House of Representatives right now is absolutely nuts. People's microphones are getting cut off. They're shouting back and forth. All of this circulating around this pivotal bill. There's a lot hinging on this. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, and we're going to be seeing executive action, stimulus following this. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update, and stimulus package update. Now, this bill has taken over a year to get passed in the Senate. Now it's all hinging upon this moment in the House of Representatives, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, and you're going to be hearing, I'm going to share with you what's going on right now. There's no articles on this or anything because it's happening at this very moment, and that is, they're saying this is going to worsen inflation. This is really bad. We should not be passing this. Others saying, no, we need this. It is going to help a ton. Others saying, no, more needs to be done. And they're very upset that this bill has been whittled down to what it is. As you recall before, they wanted stimulus checks, child tax credits, Social Security increases, free childcare, free college tuition, wiping out student loan debt. All of this stuff has been removed, and they're trying to pass it now significantly smaller than what it was before. Now, we're also hearing that once this passes, executive actions from the president are going to start rolling out. The first of which you're going to see, they're saying, is addressing student loan debt, extending the moratorium, and wiping out $10,000 of student loan debt. Now, we will see, you guys, but this is a pivotal moment. It's very likely later on today we're going to be hearing that this is passed in the House of Representatives, but we will see. I will keep you up to date, but wait till you see the video footage of what's unfolding right now. So, you guys, I'm going to share with you. Let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do me a quick favor, smash the like button if you appreciate the updates. If you want to stay up to date, I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. I normally cite my sources, but this is all happening right now. There are no articles on it just quite yet. But if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Come join the Ram fam. I'll let you know everything going on. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. I got a second channel, Steve Ram Finance, if you're interested in learning about growing wealth, personal finance, real estate, stocks, how to deal with this economy, recession, inflation, and also, if you haven't already, we're approaching 7,000 people that have added their emails to the wait list to get access to the comprehensive list of all stimulus checks across the nation available right now. A lot of people think there's just the federal checks, or you have to do your taxes to get the state checks. You guys, there are tons of checks that people don't realize are available, and there's just a lack of awareness. It's very sad, and I'm assembling them. I'm doing this massive project right now, assembling all of them into one easy-to-access place, so that way you can find out if you're eligible. You can easily apply, and you can get anything that's available, because a lot of these are only available for a limited amount of time, and then after that the money is actually going back to the government, money that people should have got, and they're missing out. We're hearing all the time as these programs expire. I want to make sure you don't miss out on anything, so if you haven't already, go to www.reliefroadmap.com, put in your email, get added to the list. Hoping to get that out to you guys here very soon. It's just, like I said, quite the undertaking, quite a project. I didn't realize what I was getting into, but I'm going to have that for you here very soon. But with that being said, you guys, let's take a look at this video footage.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentle lady from Colorado.
Gentlewoman from Colorado is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different result. That makes the supporters of this legislation, by definition, insane. Reckless spending in this town is what causes inflation. And we cannot continue to increase taxes on the American people and put a target on American energy production while spending a historic $370 billion on Green New Deal initiatives and expect to lower inflation and improve our economy. Remember that so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill? Yeah, we spent $200 billion on Green New Deal initiatives. I guess that was just a down payment on this never-ending theft of American tax dollars. We are sacrificing, you are sacrificing American families at the altar of climate change. Mr. Speaker, isn't it so Joe Biden himself said inflation rate is at 0%. So what the heck are we doing here? Why are we passing this so-called Inflation Reduction Act if it's at 0%? Well, in fact, it's the Inflation Enhancement
Gentlewoman's
Act.
time has expired.
And it does the exact opposite of what Americans need right now. This is just another con game by the Democrats, calling something one thing and saying another.
Expired.
This is making the IRS, which
Gentlewoman's
armed
time
agents,
has expired.
the Pentagon, the State Department,
Gentlewoman is
the
no
FBI,
longer recognized. The gentleman from Missouri reserves the belt.
Mr. Speaker.
Robbery on Americans.
How much time do you need?
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized.
How much time do you need?
Your time has expired. The gentleman from Missouri reserves.
I will yield an additional 30 seconds to the gentlelady from Colorado to finish her comments.
Gentlewoman is recognized for an additional 30 seconds.
This bill hires 87,000 new IRS agents, and they are armed, and the job description tells them that they need to be required to carry a firearm and expect to use deadly force if necessary. Excessive taxation is theft, and the chairman said that we are using the power of the federal government in this bill. You're darn right you're using the power of the federal government for armed robbery on the taxpayers. I can only see why that this was rushed through committee and put on the floor.
Gentlewoman's time has expired. Gentlewoman's time has expired.
Bill.
She is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Missouri reserves. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will say in response to the gentlewoman from Colorado, this is typical of what the Republicans are doing. First of all, they're making up numbers. There's nowhere, anywhere that says that 87,000 new IRS agents are going to be hired in this bill. That is a totally fabricated number. And the idea that they're armed, I know that Ms. Boebert would like everybody to be armed, as they are in her restaurant, but that's not what IRS agents do. So I would implore my Republican colleagues to cut out the scare tactics, quit making things up, and debate the substance of this bill. I now yield, I'm proud to yield I now yield 1 minute to the gentlewoman from Washington, a distinguished member of the Budget Committee, Ms. Jayapal.
Gentlewoman from Washington State is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, Democrats will take unprecedented and urgent action when we pass the Inflation Reduction Act. Today, we make good on our promise to take on climate change and climate justice with historic investments in green technologies that will cut carbon emissions by 40% by 2030, create over 9 million good jobs, put $60 billion into environmental justice, and cut energy costs for the average American family by almost $1,000 a year. And also, for the first time, we take on Big Pharma's price gouging, finally allowing Medicare to negotiate lower prescription drug prices, capping the cost of insulin, and continuing to make healthcare more affordable. And all of it is paid for with taxes on the largest corporations and the wealthiest. We've got more to do to complete the rest of the president's agenda on child care, senior care, expanding Medicare, and investing in housing. And with a few more Democrats in the Senate, we will get that done too. But today, let's celebrate this massive investment for the people over politics.
Expired.
Let's pass this bill.
Gentlewoman's time is expired.
The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
I'd like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Texas.
The gentleman's recognized for 1 minute.
Thank the gentleman from Missouri. My Democratic colleagues own this bill. Let's be clear. Tax increases for the average American? Check. $80 billion to the Internal Revenue Service to go after those Americans? To hire agents? Jobs already posted? Check. Increase electricity prices, increase gas prices to tilt at windmills with your unicorn energy policies? Check. Increase government and corporate control of healthcare? Check. I hear my colleagues talking about, oh, we're going to, go after pharma. Well, what did the CDC yesterday say? Oh, don't worry about all those mandates. Don't worry about all these vaccines. Don't worry about all the quarantine. Sorry. Pox on us. But my colleagues now today are going to dump hundreds of billions of dollars into corporate America, screwing over the American people every single day with tax audits, increased energy prices, and increased taxes. Congratulations. Take that to the polls.
The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
So, Mr. Speaker, I want to make clear to my colleagues, actually in the Senate bill, there was explicit language that made it very clear that none of this money would be used for audits for people earning $400,000 or less or targeted at small businesses. But Republicans over in the Senate insisted that the language be stripped out, and now they're complaining about it. But you know what? I got good news for you. I want to ask unanimous consent to insert in the record a letter from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen that makes it crystal clear that that's not what's going to happen. And by the way, a letter from Donald Trump's appointed IRS commissioner, who's still there, who made it very clear that it won't be used for that. So stop the misinformation, stop the fear mongering. You know, I get it. My Republican friends do not want to lower the cost of prescription drugs for senior citizens. They don't want to do anything about climate change. They don't want to pay down the deficit or the debt. I mean, I get it. You know what? But we do, and the American people do, and I'm proud of this legislation. I now yield 1.5 minutes to the gentlewoman from California, the distinguished chairwoman of the Committee on Financial Services, Ms. Waters.
Without objection,
much,
and the
Mr.
gentlewoman is
McGovern.
recognized.
I rise in recognition of the very long and difficult negotiations that have taken place following the Build Back Better Act, led by President Biden and the Democrats. I applaud all of the beneficiaries of the reconciliation bill and what is now the Inflation Reduction Bill. This act includes historic climate change legislation, will lower prescription drug costs, reduce the cost of Medicare, and will hopefully force major corporations to pay their fair share of taxes. However, as chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee, I worked with members of my committee and many members of Congress to confront the housing crisis in this country. We organized a request for $150 billion in the Build Back Better Act, which included rental assistance with Section 8 vouchers, the development of more affordable housing units, support for first-generation home buyers, repairs to fix deteriorating public housing, and fair housing enforcement to eliminate discrimination and unlawful evictions. However, there's not one nickel, not one dime, not $1 for the development of housing in this bill. We can no longer afford to have housing as an afterthought, a nice to have, or simply something that can wait until later. It is foundational to the prosperity of families, key to a healthy economy, and crucial to fighting inflation. Yes, I'm disappointed. I'm going to vote for this bill because so many people are going to benefit in different ways, but I'm disappointed that housing does not show up anywhere in this legislation.
Man, so there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That is what's happening right now. A lot of controversy around this Inflation Reduction Act, which we're hearing is likely going to be passing in the House of Representatives today. And that's just a sneak peek into what's happening. So we will see you guys. Let me know your thoughts. But once this passes, we're also hearing executive actions are going to start rolling out, and we're hearing things are going to ramp up. They're getting intense as we get closer to these midterm elections. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash the like button for me. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. Also, leave your comments. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Share this out if you think it could help out other people, if they might find it interesting. Also, if you want to stay up to date, totally free. Why not? Come join the Ram Fam. Hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed on everything that's unfolding. If you got any specific questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And keep an eye out for that comprehensive list of all checks on all levels. If you haven't already, add your email to get added to the waitlist at www.reliefroadmap.com. Hoping to have that for you so you don't miss out on anything. Any stimulus checks that might be available. I'll keep you up to date. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.